Amarillo. Live from Amarillo, working in the Panhandle spirit, ABC7 News Daybreak starts now.
Well, coming up on Daybreak, severe storm weather is now colliding with wildfires across the plains. Learn what experts have to say about this overlap between storm and fire season. Plus, the Dumas Fire Department made a high-tech purchase that will help them better handle emergencies. How this big guy will do just that. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on Daybreak. The time is now 6 o'clock, and before we get to some of that news, let's go to Corbin Vogus for an update on our weather. Corbin, we set some records yesterday?
We did, yeah. We got to 100 degrees yesterday afternoon, so if we didn't hit 100 this past weekend, that still would have been the earliest 100-degree day, surpassing the old one that was May 15th. So had severe storms, had some strong winds, had some very large hail, a little bit of everything yesterday afternoon, a little bit of everything again this afternoon as well. Let's take a step outside and look at your current conditions. Most of us in the 50s and 60s, 58 here in Amarillo, 65 out in Vega. Our winds light around 5 to 15 miles per hour, and dew points ranging between the high 40s to the 60s. They're off the Caprock in the southeast panhandle. Here's a picture of one of the haboobs that came through yesterday. That's from some of those thunderstorms that produced some very strong and gusty winds. This from Kenneth Tolbert in Amarillo. Thanks, Kenneth, for sharing that picture with us on our Chime In tab. Fire weather warnings today. Fire weather watch tomorrow there in the northwest panhandles. And then for today, our storm outlook is a slight risk for some severe storms from Tucumcari all the way up to here in Amarillo and Canyon in both Potter and Randall County. We'll see how storms play out later this afternoon. Looks like it'll be a similar situation to what we had yesterday. Coverage may not be quite as good, but still we'll see some damaging winds and some very large hail possible with storms that do get going. We'll talk about it more in 15 minutes. Johnny?
Hey, thank you, Corbin. Well, here are some viewer-submitted photos from yesterday's storm. Some hail in Borger sent in by Laura Ferguson, and some big chunks of hail over in White Deer sent in by Casey Cochran. Another look at that wall of dust between moving the thunderstorms from the Bethany Stratton, and it looks like the wind was strong enough to knock a tree down in Ginger Gwen's yard. And we want you to keep sending those photos. Uploading them is easy to do. Just go to our website, abc7amarillo.com, and click the Chime In tab at the top. You can see your photo online or on air. And as fires continue to burn across the high plains, the arrival of severe weather season is now being factored into the equation. ABC7's Mitchell Downing caught up with the local weather experts to talk about the overlap between storm and fire season and the potential threats this may cause.
Last week, the Panhandle experienced several severe weather storms, one of which wreaked havoc upon the city of Hereford, destroying the municipal airport. And this week, wildfires have already begun to burn in various parts of the Panhandle.
So what we keep seeing is this flip-flop back and forth to severe weather and then back to fire weather concerns.
Gettinger says on a normal year, the Panhandle has acquired enough moisture late in the winter and early in the spring to green up by May. However, due to the absence of rain in recent storms, most grass is still dormant, leaving the Panhandle with major threats from two different angles.
What's unusual about it, I guess, is because the grasses are dormant, that you have another source of potential fires, which is lightning from the storms. Because you get lightning strikes that are, kind of around the periphery of where the rain areas are. And so that's just another source of, potentially starting a fire.
Gettinger says regardless of rain, he's optimistic this dangerous overlap will soon fade as the wind dies down into the summer months.
So even if it doesn't rain enough, as we go into the summer, we'll still have that fire threat. But as the winds subside, we won't have as much potential for these massive fires, these wind-driven fires.
Until that time, it's important to do your part to prevent human-caused wildfires. And since most of those fires start along roadways, a few good tips are to check your trailer chains, avoid driving through grass, and stay up to date on your vehicle's maintenance. Reporting in Amarillo, I'm Mitchell Downing, ABC7 News.
And we have new information on Monday's fire that ignited near Masterson off of Highway 287. It is now officially 100% contained. The Moore County Fire Marshal's office says that downed power lines from strong wind gusts fell on a building at the helium plant, which led to the grass fire. Crews spent the day patrolling and mopping up hot spots to make sure there are no areas that can escape containment. Crews have to maintain on alert for flare-ups from the Texas Panhandle winds in an effort to fully critically of dry fuels.
We brought in our own dozers and motor graders engines from across the state with TIFMAS resources, and then the locals had their own motor graders, and we did bring in some large air tankers that dropped.
Well, there were 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts when the fire started. No fatalities or injuries were reported. And the Dumas Fire Department is going high-tech thanks to the purchase of a new ladder truck. ABC7's Drew Powell reports how the fire department can better handle emergency calls at elevated structures.
We are an all-hazards fire department and respond to a multitude of different fire and rescue calls.
The Dumas Fire Department will no longer have to rely on a ladder truck with 25-plus years of service. They can use this new truck to operate in elevated and tight areas.
You know, our biggest thing is firefighter safety. Climbing around on the tip of a ladder with limited manpower is always difficult, and having to rescue people and have them climb down a ladder at hotels or motels in the middle of the night is always a dangerous option. Having this platform, we can move right up to the window, have the victim get in the basket and have them on the ground in 15-20 seconds.
The truck carries up to 5 firefighters and features a platform, allowing firefighters to safely get up and above burning objects. Firefighters can use a high-powered hose to fight fire using an aerial attack.
There's hose on the truck in the basket that we can connect. And then we also have a 1500 GPM master stream that we can put on the top of the fire.
And the ladder on top of this truck can go up to 101 feet, giving the Dumas Fire Department access to the roofs of every building here in Dumas and Moore County.
We're now able to protect all of the buildings that we have in town. When we got our original truck, many of the 4-story hotels that we had, large grain elevator silos and things like that, were not here. And so in turn now we are able to handle any kind of emergency that we have in any of those buildings in our community.
Drew Powell, ABC7 News.
Well, coming up, Starbucks has a new drink on the menu that may give you a nostalgic feeling on how soon you'll be able to get your hands on their new creamy drink. And today is the perfect day to eat anything and everything you want, regardless of the calories. We'll tell you why when we return.
Get the ABC7 Amarillo News app now. Instant alerts the second news breaks. Watch ABC7 Amarillo News anywhere. Download the ABC7 Amarillo News app now. Sponsored by Capital Farm Credit.
Next live, Mike Myers. Life's virtual road trip stops in D.C. Plus, Life's Emmy nominated for Outstanding Entertainment Talk Show and Talk Show Host.
This morning at 9 on ABC7.
Why would Stanton Optical choose a spokesbird?
They're not your typical eye care company. I'm not your typical penguin. We're a team. There's no I in eye care. Wait.
Get 2 pairs of glasses plus a free eye exam, anti-glare lenses, and same-day service for only $79.
Bob Mills Companions Prices lets you get everything you want all together and pay less. Let's take a look. From our high-quality upholstery selection, this Mitchell sofa and love seat with matching throw pillows purchased separately $2,400, but with Bob Mills Companions price just $19.96. Plus, I'm always going to give you 60 months to pay. Bob Mills and our unique Companions prices. Now you can get everything you want.
One fateful morning, while at your daughter's Little League game, you will make the most iconic catch in the history of the Tucson Toucans. Many will claim it was your unusually long arms, but you'll know you're just a regular arm mom in a fabulous top you got for an amazing price at Marshall's. Anything can happen with a top like that.
From the Amarillo Chamber of Commerce, it's The Trade Show.
Business Connection.
Live from the Civic Center on Thursday, May 19th, will be the 29th Annual Business Connection, starring more than 250 businesses. It's the area's largest business-to-business trade show. Special thanks to gold sponsors Amarillo Economic Development Corporation, Amarillo National Bank, AW Broadband, the City of Amarillo, W Marketing, and Suddenlink. More information is available at amarillo-chamber.org or 806-373-7800.
We are going to take you to Los Angeles.
We are!
For untold behind-the-scenes stories.
Cheers!
With Cameron Diaz and the cast of Never Been Kissed.
There's a story about the famous scene that very few people know about.
Do I know about it?
No, you do not.
More never-before-seen moments from the beautiful, glamorous Hollywood, California. All new Drew.
Today at 3 on ABC7.
Panhandle weather can turn on a dime.
That's why the Storm Surge 7 team works together to track the next big weather maker.
Keeping you ahead of the storm all day, every day.
Storm Surge 7 and Weather Alert Day on ABC7 Amarillo.
Why would Stanton Optical choose a spokesbird? They're not your typical eye care company. I'm not your typical penguin. We're a team. There's no I in eye care. Wait.
Get 2 pairs of glasses plus a free eye exam, anti-glare lenses, and same-day service for only $79.
Oh, the time is now 6:11. You know, if you like chocolate, Starbucks has a new drink just for you. Starbucks is adding a new chocolate cold brew to its menu. This drink is topped with a light chocolate cream foam and is sweetened with vanilla syrup. Cold beverages like iced coffees and frappuccinos have been extremely successful for Starbucks. Interim CEO Howard Schultz said in last week's earnings call that they account for almost 80% of the business. Starbucks says its new chocolatey drink is meant to convey a nostalgic feeling of summer, but it will be available all year long. And the device that helped Apple change the entire music industry will soon be just a memory. Tuesday, the tech giant announced it was discontinuing the iPod. The digital music player was first introduced back on October 23rd of 2001. It was the first portable MP3 player that could hold up to 1,000 songs. The device redefined how people bought, enjoyed, and shared music. The iPod eventually underwent several upgrades and variations. It started to lose popularity as smartphones took over and the main source for listening to music on the go. Now Apple says its newest iPod Touch will be the final iteration of the device. You can buy them online and at stores for $199 while supplies last. And saying no to delicious but unhealthy foods can be a challenge, but not today. That's because it's National Eat What You Want Day. It's meant for people to have a day to indulge a little without feeling guilt or regret. Think of it as a way of satisfying a sweet tooth or the munchies. To celebrate, you can go ahead and treat yourself to your favorite dessert or snack. You can even share your indulgence on social media with the hashtag EatWhatYouWantDay. And still ahead, Mother Nature is gravely impacting New Mexico as fire crews continue to fight massive wildfires, while powerful winds are thrown into the mix. We'll take you to San Jose, New Mexico, when we return.
Learn to lead nursing teams as a confident and dynamic charge nurse through GCU's RN to BSN degree program online. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.
Looking to get back in your type 2 diabetes zone? Once weekly Ozempic can help. Ozempic is proven to lower A1C. Most people who took Ozempic reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it. And you may lose weight. Adults lost on average up to 12 pounds. In adults also with known heart disease, Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as heart attack, stroke, or death.
Ozempic helped me get back in my type 2 diabetes zone.
Ozempic isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take Ozempic if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or if allergic to it. Stop Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
Looking to get back in your type 2 diabetes zone? Ask your healthcare provider today about once weekly Ozempic.
You may pay as little as $25 for a 3-month prescription.
Order in the app for half-price cheeseburger.
One Sonic cheeseburger coming right up. I got the ketchup.
Putting on the pickles.
Order up.
Half-price Sonic cheeseburgers every Tuesday night. Only when you order in the app.
Mayfield Roofing, the rapid repair team unlike any other. Does your roof need to be replaced? That's a good question. Many times, full replacement is not needed. At Mayfield Roofing, we will give you our honest opinion. That's why so many people in the Amarillo area trust us with their homes. Find the right service for you on our website. Affordable, integrity, and consistency. That's the Mayfield guarantee. Call our rapid response team today for all of your roofing needs.
Panhandle weather can turn on a dime.
That's why the Storm Surge 7 team works together to track the next big weather maker.
Keeping you ahead of the storm all day, every day.
Storm Surge 7 and Weather Alert Day on ABC7 Amarillo.
Ready for a little GMA-ish promo? Okay, here we go. GMA 7A every day with Robin, George, and Michael. That's how you start the day.
Mornings after Daybreak.
Here on ABC7.
Boom!
Madison Smith and David Bradley weeknights on ABC7 Amarillo.
Order for a brownie batter shake and a yellow cake batter shake.
I'm getting it started.
Blending in the brownie pieces.
Order up. Sonic brownie batter and yellow cake batter shakes.
Well, time is now 6:16. Now to the wildfires throughout New Mexico as they continue to grow as extreme conditions fuel the spread of those massive flames. Crews are battling a dangerous mix of powerful winds, low humidity, and high temperatures, and there's growing concern of weather conditions that could quickly change and impact containment efforts. Reporter Mike Valerio has the latest on the story from San Jose, New Mexico.
This fire is still extremely dangerous.
Powerful winds, high temperatures, and low humidity, a dangerous mix that's fueling several wildfires in New Mexico.
We're seeing flames from my house probably 200-300 feet in the air, and it was roaring like a freight train.
The so-called Calf Canyon Hermit's Peak fire is now the second largest wildfire on record in New Mexico. So far, it's charred more than 200,000 acres, an area nearly the size of New York City. The monster wildfire is a combination of two fires burning out of control, which have triggered evacuation orders and have destroyed many homes.
So you cry and you feel all this emotion, and then it's going to be hard because you think you're dealing with it right now. But I can guarantee you that I know when I get there and I see it for myself, all that is going to come again.
While some evacuation orders have been lifted, officials warn conditions may worsen and are urging people to stay vigilant. The National Weather Service in Albuquerque says wind gusts could pick up Tuesday afternoon and predict the hot and dry windy conditions could continue through Thursday.
We've got a historic wind event and several red flag days, which really mean that the weather is creating extreme fire risk.
In San Jose, New Mexico, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
And now, your Storm Surge 7 forecast with meteorologist Corbin Vogus.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Here's a quick video from Caitlin and Nick Venozzi from yesterday's storms that came through, creating a boob or a dust storm. Again, that's just driven by some of those strong winds associated with the storms that we had yesterday. Again, it's like a view that you'd see back during the Dust Bowl. Just shows you how dry we are and how desperate we are in need for a drink of water. Some of us got it yesterday. A lot of us also had to deal with some hail and some strong winds. Goodnight had the largest hailstone reported at 2.5 inches in diameter. That's roughly the size of a tennis ball. And then Timber Creek Canyon had 2-inch hail. Canyon and Vega right around golf ball sized hail. Amarillo and Claude right around ping pong size. And then we had 1.25-inch hail in Groom. White Deer only reported around 1 inch, but again, this picture is from White Deer. They're from Kelsey Armstrong, so it looks like they may be a little bit bigger than quarter sized, but again, nothing really to compare it to. Pampa had our highest wind gust, 81 miles per hour. Goodnight also on board for strong winds. They gusted to 74 miles per hour, and then some slightly less strong winds there towards Perryton, Panhandle, and Miami, gusting around 65 to 70. Here's some of the rain totals we had. Canadian, the Mesonet site, picked up 1.5 inches of rain up there. There was another site that also picked up over 2.5 inches of rain in Hemphill County, so good rain for you guys up there. Pampa, 4,307 inch, 4,407 inch in Borger. Here in Amarillo, we officially only recorded 1,300 at the National Weather Service site, but there were some areas in downtown, north of town, and then the southwest side that had a lot more than that. Again, the darker greens you see, those are areas that saw over a ½ inch of rain, which was in some parts of the Amarillo area. Shamrock had around 1.25 inches, and then Clarendon and Childress right over, just over 3/4 of an inch of rain. Kyle Davies down in Childress said he had 1 inch of rain, so a very good, healthy dose down there. Samnerwood was our winner on our sites, 1.9 inches for them. Miami, 1.72 inches of rain. Esteline, McLean, Mobeedy, Goodnight. Again, Goodnight seems to be the talk of today for sure in terms of severe weather. And then Lipscomb also had just over 1 inch of rain as well. As we jump into today, it's going to be a mild start out there. A lot of our temperatures in the 50s and 60s, wind speeds ranging between 5 and 15 miles per hour for the most part, and dew points in the 50s and 60s. So we've got ample moisture for storms to get going this afternoon. That dry line way out west. Hopefully this will provide some much needed moisture for our New Mexico counties. You are under a fire weather warning today, so that is something else that we do have to contend with, and then a fire weather watch Thursday in the northwest panhandles. Main story today, storm outlook. Again, marginal and a slight risk issued by the Storm Prediction Center. That slight risk as far to the west is just outside of our viewing area. Hopefully you guys see some rain out there. They'll be very isolated to get to start with, but they do look like they may merge back into another squall line or another MCS like we had yesterday, just displaced further to the west. But hazards the same as yesterday. Golf ball sized tailwinds gusting to around 70 miles per hour. And we have the same time frame as well. Storms initiate right around 4 p.m., lasting as late as midnight, if we can hang on to some instability after sunset. On Thursday, the storm threat is going to be in the eastern panhandle, just a marginal risk that day. And there's actually a marginal risk in the southeast panhandles again on Friday. I'm just not very hopeful on it. It looks like most of those storms will actually stay outside of the panhandles, but there is a very slim chance. We'll see how it plays out. Put that on the back burner and we'll watch it closely over the next 2 days. For the dry line, thinking it's going to make its way to around the state line. That's where we'll see storms initiate this afternoon. Again, a few of them near Clovis and San Juan, and then those continue to gel into a linear line of storms and march to the east-northeast through the western side of our viewing area. They do fall apart around midnight tonight. We'll have a clear and mild start to the day tomorrow. We have another hot day on order before our next cold front gets here. Temperatures rebound back into the mid-90s. We do have that chance at some storms east of the dry line, but most of us will stay dry tomorrow afternoon before that cold front brings us some relief from some very warm temperatures. Rain chances today going to be best favored kind of in that smaller corridor there in the western panhandles. That's where we think that MCS or that squall line is going to develop this afternoon. And then Thursday to the southeast, we'll have isolated thunderstorms get going in places off of the Caprock. Similar setup, just squashed a bit further southeast on Friday. Highs today, lots of 80s and 90s out there for your 7-day tracker. I think it's going to be pretty quiet this weekend. Shouldn't be too bad to spend some time outside, but it will be a little on the warm side. You may want to stay hydrated if you spend a lot of time outside. Next decent chance of rain looks like it may come through on Tuesday.
It's decision time, shoppers. The $2 million inventory sell-off is going strong at House of Furniture in Amarillo and Clovis. We're overstocked and ready to sell. Region-wide warehouses and showrooms must be immediately cleared at rock-bottom prices. Get total wall-to-wall savings while it lasts. It's the region-wide $2 million inventory sell-off at the House of Furniture in Amarillo and Clovis. Decision time is now.
When it comes time to replace your old heating and air conditioning system, turn to the experts, Amarillo Air Masters. If you're looking for a professional installation, we can do that. Reliable products that give you superior comfort and energy savings.
We've got that.
And a company that you can trust to stand behind their work.
We always do that.
Immediate savings of up to $1,400 on qualifying systems. Time is limited, so call today.
When it comes to Texas pride, the Panhandle is overflowing. Its streets are full of our history, and its ranches thick with heritage. And a few Cadillacs. But at the heart of it all is water. The Ogallala Aquifer plays a crucial role in keeping the Panhandle thriving. From the beef industry to the arts, our football to our farms. Water makes everything we do possible. It's the lifeblood of Texas, and the Panhandle runs on it. Texas runs on water.
We are going to take you to Los Angeles.
We are!
For untold behind-the-scenes stories.
Cheers!
With Cameron Diaz and the cast of Never Been Kissed.
There's a story about the famous scene that very few people know about.
Do I know about it?
No, you do not.
Plus,
more never-before-seen moments from the beautiful, glamorous Hollywood, California. All new Drew.
Today at 3 on ABC7.
Ready for a little GMA-ish promo? Okay, here we go. GMA 7A every day with Robin, George, and Michael. That's how you start the day.
Mornings after Daybreak.
Here on ABC7.
Boom!
Panhandle weather can turn on a dime.
That's why the Storm Surge 7 team works together to track the next big weather maker.
Keeping you ahead of the storm all day, every day.
Storm Surge 7 and Weather Alert Day on ABC7 Amarillo. ABC7 Amarillo Daybreak. Count on us to bring you the local news and weather you need to start your day.
As you rise,
we shine.
ABC7 Amarillo Daybreak. Weekday mornings from 4:30 to 7.
It's decision time, shoppers. The $2 million inventory sell-off is going strong at House of Furniture in Amarillo and Clovis. We're overstocked and ready to sell. Region-wide warehouses and showrooms must be immediately clear at rock-bottom prices. Get total wall-to-wall savings while it lasts. It's the region-wide $2 million inventory sell-off at the House of Furniture in Amarillo and Clovis. Decision time is now.
Well, our time is now 6:26. And now for a look at some of the stories making headlines in the world of entertainment. Here's Alicia Stanford with the Hollywood Minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly welcome to the Walk of Fame, James Hong.
James Hong now has his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The 93-year-old actor was honored for his contributions to films. He has appeared in some 700 projects in 68 years of movie making, including Big Trouble in Little China. Hong's Everything Everywhere All at Once co-star Jamie Lee Curtis was on hand for the big reveal, as was actor Daniel Day Kim, who spearheaded the effort to honor the filmed legend.
It's all one extreme from the heavy road down to the comedy. I'm very proud of that I've done everything. And now, I don't know, should I ride off in the sunset? What do you think? Not yet.
The ceremony included a traditional Chinese dragon dance. Hong is the oldest honoree to receive a star on the Walk of Fame and the only living actor to have worked with Clark Gable and Groucho Marx. Fred Armisen is looking for love in the new animated video from Osaka pop star in Lost and Found. The actor and comedian pulls out all the stops when he eyes the girl of his dreams working in a grocery store. There are a lot of hidden gems in this short, including a salute to Saturday morning breakfast cereals and TV singing groups such as the Monkees, the Partridge Family, and the Archies. In Hollywood, I'm Alicia Stanford.
Okay, we all know it, we all feel it. Gas prices are crazy high. Well, this morning, what if there was a way to help you save on gas right now? What can you do? Where can you go? This morning, Good Morning America with answers to help you save.
Hi, I'm Deborah. I'm from Colorado. I've been married to my high school sweetheart for 35 years. I'm a mother of 4, always busy. I was starting to feel a little foggy. I just didn't feel like things were as sharp as I knew they once were. I heard about Prevagen, and then I started taking it about 2 years now. Started noticing, seemed a little sharper, a little clearer, and I feel like it's kept me on my game. I am able to remember things and say, give it a try.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Are old windows costing you money?
Heat and cooling loss or water damage can cost you more than you think.
You can change that at Quality Exteriors.
Quality Exteriors is proud to provide the best Texas-made products on the market.
Replacing your windows is the fastest way to increase the value of your home.
And right now, you can choose from 0% financing options.
Call us today for a free estimate.
Right here at Quality Exteriors.
Windows, siding, and roofing.
Popeye's new Buffalo Ranch chicken sandwich is here to sauce things up. The internet's favorite chicken sandwich now comes with a zesty buffalo and creamy ranch sauce, spread on our brioche buns with crunchy pickles and juicy chicken breasts. Try it today.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
If you're at home right now and you're suffering from burning, tingling, or numb feet, you need to pay special attention to this next segment as we discuss neuropathy.
What is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is actually nerve damage to the feet and the legs primarily.
And what are the symptoms?
The major symptoms we see are numbness, burning, muscle cramps, problems with your balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It is absolutely treatable, and we can get some great results.
If you're experiencing burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands, or having balance issues, call today for your nerve damage screening. Your nerve damage screening will tell you if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our innovative treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe severe, there is nothing that can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 25 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Act now and call to schedule your nerve damage screening. First 25 callers receive this screening for free.
The Texas Panhandle, home to agriculture, Palo Duro Canyon, and drunk driving. But we don't want to be known for that. If you've been drinking, don't get behind the wheel. Even if you drive that country back road every day, it takes just one mistake to ruin the lives of your neighbors, your friends, and you. Don't take that chance. This message is brought to you by Hunter and Kalinka, serious attorneys for serious cases. Panhandle neighbors, don't drink and drive. A message from Hunter and Kalinka and ABC7. ABC7 News Daybreak continues.
Coming up on Daybreak, health is wealth. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month. With all the stressors around us, you can learn what you can do to keep your sanity. Plus, the most common cancer in America is skin cancer, but sunscreen can't help if it's not put on properly. How you can prevent going down this road. And with health officials predicting a COVID surge in the fall and winter, COVID testing has declined dramatically. How this drop will make it harder for scientists to track the course of the pandemic. Once again, good morning. Thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:31. Before we get started on our news, let's go to Corbin Vogus, our own meteorologist, for an update on our weather. Corbin, it looks rough out there.
Yeah, it looks like round 2 later this afternoon, just like what we had yesterday. Maybe a bit further to the west, so places like New Mexico could benefit this afternoon, and the western panhandles, unlike they did yesterday. All the same hazards, blowing dust, haboobs from the storms that get going. We could see some golf ball-sized hail and winds gusting to around 70 miles per hour, as well as frequent lightning. Again, temperatures right now, not too bad, a little mild out there. Most of us in the 50s and 60s. Wind speeds ranging anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour. And we've got that moisture already in place for those storms that do develop later this afternoon. The dry line all the way out west there near I-25, not too far away from the Front Range there in the Rocky Mountains. Here's a video from some of those storms yesterday. I just absolutely love this video. Timothy Weaver sent this in to us on our Chime In tab. You can see again a cloud-to-ground lightning strike off in the distance there near Pantex, and then the lightning crawl underneath this, the cloud deck in those storms as they exit off towards the east. But again, thank you, Timothy, for sharing a picture or that video with us on our Chime In tab. You can do that today as well. Just make sure that you send those on our Facebook pages and Twitter as well. Fire weather warnings for today in New Mexico. Also fire weather watch for Thursday in the northwest panhandles. We have that slight risk for some severe storms today. That yellow shaded region is the slight risk. It does cover a good portion of the area. Also includes us in Amarillo and in Canyon for Potter and Randall County. We'll time it all out for you coming up in around 15 minutes. Until then, though, Johnny, back to you.
Hey, thank you, Corbin. Well, this was the procession yesterday out of Amarillo for Jason Smith, the volunteer firefighter from Balco, Oklahoma. Smith passed away on Sunday from injuries that he suffered while fighting a fire in the Oklahoma Panhandle last month. After serving with the department for 6 years, Smith was 43 years old and left behind a wife, 2 daughters, and a grandson. This procession made its way through Pampa, Perryton, Bryan's Corner, and Elmwood before it ended in Beaver, Oklahoma. Funeral services are still pending. And it's National Mental Health Awareness Month. Since 1949, Mental Health and America and other organizations have celebrated May as a mental health month. The goal is to bring attention to mental health issues, reduce the stigma, and improve the access to mental health resources. This year's theme is Back to Basics. Taking care of your emotional health should be as normal as eating well and exercising. But the COVID-19 pandemic has left many Americans feeling stressed, depressed, and isolated. It's important that everyone has the tools they need and a solid support system to navigate through tough times. So take some time this month to check in with yourself and your loved ones and know where to go if you need help. And surveys show that the most common cancer in America is skin cancer, but it's also one of the most preventable. Sunscreen cannot help if it's not put on properly. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither goes over the most common sunscreen mistakes.
As As the weather gets warmer, don't get burned by a lack of sun protection.
If you use sunscreen on a daily basis, an SPF of just 15, you can actually decrease your risk of squamous cell carcinoma, a type of skin cancer, by almost 40%.
Dr. Susan Masick, a dermatologist at the Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center, says the biggest sunscreen mistake people make is not using any.
They assume they don't need it. They assume that they're just going to be outside for a short period of time.
Masick says sunscreen should be a daily routine, whether it's sunny or cloudy. Use a wide, broad spectrum UVA and UVB protective sunscreen of at least 25 to 30 SPF for everyday use, or at least 50 SPF when outdoors for a long time.
You have to apply about a half hour before you head out the doors. You want to reapply every 2 to 3 hours, because after some period of time, it's not as protective as it once was when you first applied it.
Remember to hit the often forgotten areas like the tops of feet, hands, and the exposed areas of the chest and neck. Also, don't forget to check the expiration date.
The good rule of thumb is that each spring, just buy a whole new set of sunscreens, have them in your car, have them in your beach bag, have them by the door, so you're always going to be applying them consistently.
Masick says mineral sunblocks provide a good deal of sun protection, but chemical sunscreens blend in more easily. She says either are good to use as long as there's UVA and UVB protection. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And don't count only on sunscreen for sun protection. Wide-brimmed hats, protective clothing, and sunglasses can help lower your risk of exposure also. The number of people getting tested for COVID-19 has plummeted across the globe. Experts say it's down by 70 to 90% from the first to second quarter of this year. Scientists are worried that this decline will make it harder for them to track the course of the pandemic and harder to identify new COVID variants as they emerge and spread. Experts say that COVID fatigue, a decline in COVID cases, and a lack of access to antiviral medications is behind the drop in testing. And the recommendation of a fourth shot by the CDC is now raising a lot of questions for some people, especially about timing and type. Medical reporter Liz Bonas shares some answers.
Hey there, everybody. I know a lot of us are asking questions about when to get that second booster shot, now recommended by the CDC in some cases. And if you get it, which one should you choose?
Luckily, we're getting closer to getting some answers thanks to vaccine trial volunteers such as Julie Ahern.
I think that's really important.
Julie says she started volunteering for clinical research trials with her triplets, William, Patrick, and Logan, almost from when they were first born. They were in one trial
from the age of 2 up until 18.
The problem, however, with the COVID-19 vaccine research trials is that the SARS-CoV-2 virus is so new, trials are not yet completed. So vaccine researcher Dr. Antoinette Pergolles told me, here's what we know so far. A study released today in the British Medical Journal says your fourth dose of either Moderna or Pfizer is safe and provides a substantial boost to immunity at similar or even better levels than a third dose. It's authorized for those ages 50 and older, and the CDC recommends it 4 months after your last shot. Those who should especially consider it?
Anyone with an immunocompromised status. I think anyone that helps care for somebody with an immunocompromised status is really important. You know, I'd have to think about, travel overseas, if you are going to be out of the country.
As for whether or not you should get the same mRNA vaccine you got the last time or mix it up, Dr. Pergolles says the research is still in progress.
Personally, I've kind of stuck with my own, with the same vaccines through the boosters. And it's not saying that that's 100% the right way to do it. It's just I did really well with that particular vaccine in the beginning, so I feel comfortable with it.
Now, the CDC also says you can wait on the second booster if you've had COVID-19 in the last 90 days. I'm medical reporter Liz Bonas. Now back to you.
So much. This one goes out to my owners with those cute little toy breeds and occasionally to my owners of larger breeds. I know it's annoying, but that maroon tear staining that you might notice around your pet's eyes is completely normal and a result of tear production. The tears that your pet produces naturally and normally will stain the hair around the eyes, and particularly we notice it in our light-colored toy breeds. The good news is that more often than not, this is a benign effect of normal tear production, which is vital to the health of your pet's eyes. I do recommend using a warm washcloth to wipe gently around the eyes as needed. This can help limit the staining and can also prevent the tears from caking up and irritating the skin around the eyes. Connect with us at our station website by looking up For Pet's Sake. We'd also love to see your favorite pet moments that you can share with our community. Go to our news app, click Explore, chime in, and upload your Petastic photos.
So where in the law does it say that they can keep the dog?
An eviction forced them to part with their pet.
They came over for a block party that I had. They ate, drank, and left their dog. Now you want the dog back.
Judge Judy.
Today at 2 on ABC7.
It's decision time, shoppers. The $2 million inventory sell-off is going strong at House of Furniture in Amarillo and Clovis. We're overstocked and ready to sell. Region-wide warehouses and showrooms must be immediately clear at rock-bottom prices. Get total wall-to-wall savings while it lasts. It's the region-wide $2 million inventory sell-off at the House of Furniture in Amarillo and Clovis. Decision time is now.
We are going to take you to Los Angeles. We are!
For untold behind-the-scenes stories.
Cheers!
With Cameron Diaz and the cast of Never Been Kissed.
There's a story about the famous scene that very few people know about.
Do I know about it?
No, you do not.
Plus,
more never-before-seen moments from the beautiful, glamorous Hollywood, California. All new Drew.
Today at 3 on ABC7.
As AmeriCorps members and volunteers, we do more than talk about our core values. We take action and commit to making our community stronger.
At AmeriCorps, my commitment to equity gives every student a strong start.
Our compassion brings food and friendship to neighbors in need.
My determination protects parks in my community.
Now more than ever, your community needs you. What's at your core? Learn more at AmeriCorps.gov.
The ABC7 Skycam Network. We're the station with the Panhandle's largest Skycam network, live 24/7. Giving you an early look at approaching storms. Helping you avoid traffic trouble spots. And catching breaking news as it happens, live. The exclusive Skycam network. One more reason to choose ABC7 Amarillo as your local news and weather source. Brought to you in part by Cantex Roofing. ABC7 Amarillo Daybreak. Count on us to bring you the local news and weather you need to start your day.
As you rise,
we shine.
ABC7 Amarillo Daybreak. Weekday mornings from 4:30 to 7.
Ready for a little GMA-ish promo? Okay, here we go. GMA 7A every day with Robin, George, and Michael. That's how you start the day.
Mornings after Daybreak.
Here on ABC7.
Boom!
It's decision time, shoppers. The $2 million inventory sell-off is going strong at House of Furniture in Amarillo and Clovis. We're overstocked and ready to sell. Region-wide warehouses and showrooms must be immediately clear at rock-bottom prices. Get total wall-to-wall savings while it lasts. It's the region-wide $2 million inventory sell-off at the House of Furniture in Amarillo and Clovis. Decision time is now.
Next live, Mike Myers. Live's virtual road trip stops in D.C. Plus, Live's Emmy-nominated for Outstanding Entertainment Talk Show and Talk Show Host.
This morning at 9 on ABC7.
Well, the time's now 6:43. In economic news, record high prices are being seen here in Amarillo as well as across the country. Diesel fuel climbed to $5.23 per gallon on Monday. That is the highest on record. And regular unleaded is now up to $3.89 a gallon, which is just 9 cents off the record high. If there is a silver lining, it's that Amarillo still has some of the lowest prices in Texas. The statewide average for both diesel and unleaded gasoline are already at record highs. Analysts predict that prices will continue to climb through Memorial Day as summer road trip season begins and oil prices remain volatile. The increased oil costs suggest the average American household will pay almost $2,000 more for gasoline this year than they did last year. And new data suggests the supply of homes for sale could go up in the next few weeks. According to Realtor.com's monthly housing trends report, inventory in April was 12% lower than in the same month last year. That's the smallest year-over-year decline since December of 2019. The report noting housing demand has begun to moderate as buyers deal with both rising home prices and rising mortgage rates. Still, the number of active listings was down more than 60% compared to 2020, right at the onset of the pandemic. And now to the question that most Americans are asking: when will prices start coming down? Well, we could get some clues later this morning when the government releases its monthly report on inflation. ABC's Justin Finch has more.
Today's report from the government is expected to show that America's 40-year high inflation has already peaked. The big question now: when will prices start dropping? Analysts predict the report will show an inflation rate of 8.1% last month, a decrease from 8.5% in March. But some economists warn core inflation, which excludes food and gas prices, could stay high for months.
I want every American to know that I'm taking inflation very seriously.
President Biden says fighting inflation is his top domestic priority, but Tuesday suggested things could still get worse.
How long do you think it will be until we see prices coming down?
I'm not going to predict that, but I know what we have to do to make sure that we can bring it down.
The president pointed to several steps his administration has taken to lower prices, but blamed pandemic disruptions and the war in Ukraine for rising prices. His critics say inflation also stems from the Biden administration's overspending, including the stimulus checks that pumped money into the economy.
We got a stock market going down. So, I mean, he doesn't have any ideas. He was confusing. He put up no ideas what he's going to get done.
Today, President Biden heads to Illinois, where he's expected to announce steps to lower food prices. He's also considering lifting tariffs on Chinese products to lower prices on those goods. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Well, the online trading platform Robinhood is rolling out a stock lending program. To qualify, users must have $5,000 in total account value and $25,000 in reported income or trading experience. Under this program, customers can lend shares of companies they own to other market participants and collect a percentage of the fees. It basically lets investors loan out their securities to short sellers, and Robinhood apparently thinks the idea is key to its survival. The company announced the program this month as it scrambles to find new sources of revenue and rekindle user growth. And Peloton is running out of cash as it fights to make a turnaround. The at-home fitness company reports quarterly sales have tumbled 15% compared to the same quarter just 1 year ago. And it lost $757 million last quarter. It also reported it had $879 million in cash at the end of the quarter. Peloton's CEO said that leaves it thinly capitalized. It prompted the company to borrow a significant amount of money to keep operations running. As people return to gyms, Peloton has been struggling to maintain the huge growth that it saw during the early days of the pandemic. Bike and subscription sales have stagnated, inventory is high, and demand is declining. And now to the urgent investigation in the deaths of 3 American tourists who mysteriously passed away after falling ill at a popular resort in the Bahamas. As officials await lab results that could point to a cause of death, a family friend is now reacting to the devastating news. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
The Chirellas were celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary in the Bahamas at the Sandals Emerald Bay Resort when suddenly things took a turn. Vincent Chirella and his wife Donis falling ill Thursday. Vincent found dead a day later. Donis survived and was airlifted to a hospital near Miami.
They were really, really sweet people, and they had a son that lived with them too. They were just nice, good, fine people. It's a shock.
Their son Austin says his mother had swollen legs and arms and that she couldn't move. Both Vincent and Donis went to the hospital Thursday complaining of nausea and vomiting, but officials say they were released. The Minister of Health telling ABC News doctors recommended they be airlifted off the island, but they refused.
Just a lovely, lovely couple that was just full of life and just enjoying their time in paradise.
In an adjacent beachside villa, another married couple getting sick on Thursday too. Robbie and Michael Phillips of Tennessee also dying Friday. Police say they both showed signs of convulsion.
We really want to know what caused this.
Officials say it does not appear to be foul play. Scientists now analyzing samples from the victims and rooms.
Our forensic scientists have also collected samples from both of the rooms to determine whether or not any contaminants are present.
Some guests are concerned, but others, like Sharon Tassetti, who says she's visited Sandals properties nearly 50 times, plan to vacation as usual.
For myself and my husband, we are not going to dwell on it while we're here. We're trying to make the best of it.
Officials say there is no ongoing threat at the resort. The Phillips family released a statement saying they are grieving, broken, and already missing Robbie and Michael terribly. Sandals saying they are actively supporting the investigation and the families involved. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
And now, your Storm Surge 7 forecast with meteorologist Corbin Vogus.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Storms yesterday certainly putting on quite a show after they rolled out of the area. This is a great shot by Timothy Weaver. Near the Amarillo area, just outside of town, you can see that cloud-to-ground lightning strike there off in the distance, and then those crawlers underneath the cloud deck. Again, it's a beautiful light show that we had from some much-needed rainfall from some of those storms. Now, we did have some severe weather that was embedded in it as well. Goodnight had tennis ball-sized hail. Timber Creek Canyon had 2-inch hail, which is about the size of hen eggs. And then Canyon and Vega had golf ball sized hail. Amarillo and Claude not quite as big, around ping pong size. And then Groom, White Deer, and Canadian on the marginally severe side. That picture you see is actually from Kelsey Armstrong in White Deer. Would say that those are probably bigger than quarters, but nothing really to compare it to. Not sure how big your hand is, Kelsey, but we do want to thank you for sharing your picture with us on our Chime In tab. Peak wind gust yesterday. Pampa had a wind gust of 81 miles per hour. A very impressive wind gust there. Valley de Oro, northwest of Amarillo, 77 mile per hour wind gust there. Goodnight also on the board again at 74 mile per hour wind gust. Miami, Perryton, and Panhandle all gusting between 65 and 71 miles per hour. Now, the northwest panhandles in New Mexico really missed out on the storms yesterday. But we did have some very healthy totals back off towards the east. Places like Childress and Clarendon, right around 3/4 of an inch of rain, a half inch or close to it towards Borger and Pampa. We only officially recorded 1,300 at the National Weather Service site, but some areas did see some more rainfall than that. Canadian, the Mesonet site there had 1.46 measured, but there was also some sites up there that measured over 2.5 inches of rain. So very healthy and heavy rain that had come through yesterday. Samnerwood close to 2 inches. Miami also getting close to 2 inches for their total yesterday. Mobeetie, Goodnight, Lipscomb, everyone in the eastern panhandles for the most part did see over 3/4 of an inch of rain. So a very healthy moisture amount. Here's your temperatures right now. 50s and 60s outside. We've got some winds around 5 to 15 miles per hour to contend with this morning. Our dew points already in the 50s and 60s. So primed for the storms this afternoon. That dry line way out west, so it should help a larger portion of the area benefit from some potential rainfall later this afternoon. We are under a fire weather warning in New Mexico today from 1 until 10 p.m. and then one fire weather watch in the northwest panhandles for Thursday. But the main story today, the thunderstorm chances. Marginal and a slight risk out there in the western half of our viewing area. Slight risk is a level 2 out of 5, and we're looking at similar hazards to what we had yesterday. Hail could be roughly the size of golf balls, which is around 1.75 inches in diameter, big enough to cause quite a bit of damage to your vehicle and some outdoor furniture and things like that. Winds gusting to around 70 miles per hour. Timing for all this could be around 4 p.m. here in the Panhandles as early as 3 o'clock, though Mountain Daylight Time there in New Mexico, lasting until as late as midnight tonight. Storms again Thursday. Those will be in the eastern side of the viewing area, and then we even have a chance for some marginally severe storms on Friday. I'm not real hopeful on this. I do think that most of us, if not all of us, stay dry Friday, but this is something that we'll put on the back burner and watch closely over the next couple of days. So there's the dry line again. We'll see storms get going around 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon, depending on which time zone you're in, and then those continue to track and march off to the east in a very similar fashion. Models have upscale growth, allowing these storms to merge into a linear line of storms, creating the mesoscale convective system, or that linear convective system. And then those push off towards the east. Timing for Amarillo, probably around 7, 8 p.m. is when we'll start to see those get close to the area again, a little bit earlier if you're further west. For Thursday, that dry line pushes further east, so storm chances kind of confined to the lower elevations in the east panhandles. Then the cold front comes through, washing out those summer-like temperatures that we get to experience tomorrow back into the mid-90s. Here's your rain chances. Most of us in that 10 to 30% chance, but there is that small corridor there in the western panhandles where we've got 30 to 50% 100% coverage expected for right now, thinking that that southwest corner is going to be best favored for any storms between Clovis and Amarillo, where you guys could benefit from some rain. Thursday, those rain chances squashed to the southeast side of our area, back off of the Caprock, Pampa, Canadian, around 10% for you guys there. 30 to 50% towards Childress and Memphis. Highs today, summer-like, feeling like we're around 90 degrees. We'll make it to around 90 degrees this afternoon, and then those low temperatures tonight tumble back into the 60s. A hot day on Thursday, back into the mid-90s. Not quite record-breaking, but still very warm for this time of year. And then we get a brief break on Friday with highs back in the mid-80s.
Every day in Amarillo, good dogs are left at home all alone, with no one to play with, waiting for their master's return. Where's your dog? They could be having the time of their lives at KVII Country Club Daycare. While you work, we'll keep them engaged, and you can watch them play right from your phone. When you pick up your pup, they'll be ready for a quiet night on the couch. After all, you've both had a long day. KVII Country Club Daycare. Play hard, rest easy.
Looking to get back in your type 2 diabetes zone? Once weekly Ozempic can help. Ozempic is proven to lower A1C. Most people who took Ozempic reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it. And you may lose weight. Adults lost on average up to 12 pounds. In adults also with known heart disease, Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as heart attack, stroke, or death.
Ozempic helped me get back in my type 2 diabetes zone.
Ozempic isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take Ozempic if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or if allergic to it. Stop Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
Looking to get back in your type 2 diabetes zone? Ask your healthcare provider today about once weekly Ozempic.
You may pay as little as $25 for a 3-month prescription.
So where in the law does it say that they can keep a dog?
The law doesn't say anything, though. That's why you're here.
An eviction forced them to part with their pet.
Describe to me what the dog looked like when you got the dog after a month and a half in a kennel.
He had a jacket of mats that I had to remove, and he had overgrown nails.
But are they really interested in his return?
They came over for a block party that I had. They entertained, ate, drank, and left their dog. Now you want the dog back.
Next, Judge Judy.
Today at 2 on ABC7.
Tonight, a new Wonder Years will have you celebrating.
Party's in the basement.
But when things get out of hand, thank goodness for sympathetic parents.
I just wanted them to think I was cool.
Were they blind? The Wonder Years, new tonight on ABC.
ABC7 News Daybreak continues.
Once again, good morning and thank you for joining us. The time right now is 6:57. Well, for the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Michelle Franzen.
James Cromwell took a stand for vegans by supergluing his hand to a Starbucks counter in protest of the coffee chain's upcharge for non-dairy milks. The 82-year-old actor live streamed his protest on Facebook. He was joined at the New York City coffee shop with other PETA members. A Starbucks spokesperson said it respects customers' right to voice their opinions so long as it does not disrupt our store operations.
High school was just like yesterday for me.
Rebel Wilson is starring in her first movie since 2019. In the new film Senior Year, she plays a high school cheerleader who suffers a head injury and falls into a coma before her senior prom. She wakes up 20 years later as a 37-year-old woman who decides to head back to high school to finish her term. Senior Year comes to Netflix on May 13th. And celebrating birthdays today, reality star Blac Chyna, she turns 34, and football star Cam Newton is 33. That's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Michelle Franzen.
Well, Johnny, it looks like round 2 may get underway later this afternoon, but it will benefit those areas that missed out yesterday on some much-needed rainfall.
I got a lot of hail yesterday. I'll get more today?
It depends on where you're at. I think here in Amarillo, we'll probably be dealing with more of a wind threat. The storms kind of gel into a linear line before they get here, so the hail's probably not going to be as big. Not saying that you won't see any, but it probably won't be to the extent that what we had yesterday. Let's take a look outside at your, again, storm threat for today. The slight risk is in the western panhandles and back into eastern New Mexico. We will see, again, the best coverage in that smaller corridor in the western and probably the southwest side towards Clovis, Hereford, and Adrian, and then those march off towards the east back towards the I-27 corridor. We do have a slim chance tomorrow, and then we go quiet and feeling very summer-like for this weekend.
Well, moving into the middle of May, will this be the end of hail?
Probably not. No, our severe weather season lasts through most of the summer.
Okay, well, thank you for waking up with us here on Daybreak. We'll be back throughout Good Morning America with more local news and weather.
And be sure to join us back here for midday. Have a good morning.
Good morning, America. The big question on this Wednesday morning, has inflation finally reached its peak? The critical new report out this morning. Eyes around the nation on those new inflation numbers as rising prices spark growing recession fears. Is the worst over? What the White House is doing to try to bring some relief. Plus, GMA shows you the best ways to drive down what you pay at the pump and the simple ways to improve your car's fuel efficiency.
Breaking overnight, escaped prisoner Casey White back behind bars in Alabama, making his first court appearance after 11 days on the run. And this morning, exclusive new images of that dramatic high-speed chase to capture him, and former corrections officer Vicky White, what authorities found in their car.
Abortion rights showdown. Democrats calling this the fight of a generation. The Senate set to vote on a bill in the wake of the leaked Supreme Court decision. Is it expected to fail?
Overnight, the House votes to send $40 billion more aid to Ukraine as a top intelligence official warns Vladimir Putin could turn to more drastic means.
Also this morning, a would-be kidnapper trying to drag a woman away, scared off by a driver stopping to help. The assailant now in custody. We hear from the two women this morning.
Taking control. A mid-air scare with an incapacitated